Alrighty, good morning everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the stream. We're definitely going to have a lower turnout this week because I don't know about you guys, but my Twitter is not working this morning. Literally can't even like log on and scroll the feed, but that's neither here nor there. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me regardless. I think the fact that we still have like 70 people in here means that some people at least have me on notifications when I go live on YouTube, which is pretty cool, man. I was actually speaking to a homie about this earlier today and just talking about how much of a waste of time Twitter is for me at this part of my journey. I think it was like instrumental and foundational early on. The things that I learned from other traders, the things that people shared were instrumental in my growth, but nowadays it's just a whole bunch of slop in my opinion. even people that I like highly respect, even myself, like just half the tweets I feel like, you know, whatever. It's just, like I said, it's just a bunch of slop. So anyways, Mag has sent me here because Twitter barely works. Thanks Mag. But good morning to all you guys here. Let's get caught up with chat and then we'll talk about Bitcoin thoughts. The title of today's stream is going to be, or is on the stock market, and we're going to be talking about the stock market a little bit later today. Let's change it up. Let's go with the dark charts today. Let's stream with the dark charts. All right, let me get caught up with chat. Where are you on your MD trajectory? If not completed yet, any special you see yourself doing? So I've told this story a bunch of times before, but just real quick. So I went to med school. I passed my boards. I was ready to apply for the match. This was in late 2022 was when I was going to apply for the match. And if I got matched, it was going to be March of 2023. I decided not to apply for the match. Around July, August, September, around that time is when I made the decision to go full-time with trading. I think specifically it was like middle of August. So I didn't even apply for the match in 2022. So I didn't do residency. If I want to work as a physician here in the States, I would literally have to reapply for the match, do residency, which is 3 years of mandatory work before, you know, going into fellowship, specializing, all that jazz. But the field that I was most interested in was emergency medicine. So if I had gone that route and stuck with medicine, it would have been emergency medicine. But, you know, I'm glad that I bet on myself, right? This was kind of like, this was a big risk for me to, you know, put aside something that I'd been working towards for so long in medicine and betting on myself and following my passions towards trading. I think it was a big risk, something that like my parents didn't initially agree with either. So it was tough. It was stressful, but we made it out the other side. And had I not dedicated every waking moment of the past couple years to trading, I wouldn't be where I am today. So you know, had I done medicine, there wouldn't have been enough time. There wouldn't have been enough time at all. Like, you know, I probably would have just bought some spot altcoins while things were going up and gotten wrecked or something like that. Yeah, good morning, everyone. I agree there are no survivors left. I think there's plenty of survivors left, man. I'm seeing tweets still getting 5,000 likes. My friend Stoic, who I did a podcast with last week, put out a tweet that was just like, he quoted what Trump said with a picture of Sailor, and I got like 15,000 likes. That means that the interest in crypto is still extremely high right now. If you guys are around post FTX, like December, around Christmas time after FTX, this place was a barren fucking wasteland. Like, I'm talking about like big accounts with 100,000 followers getting like 50 likes on their posts or 100 likes. If we're getting 15,000 likes for memes, we're nowhere close to like a barren wasteland. Hit the like button. Yeah, appreciate that, Yashik. All right. Do we need to repeat mom medical school every stream? I get asked about it, brother. I don't bring it up on my own. So doc is a fake doc? Yeah, I guess essentially. I'm not a practicing physician, but yeah. Call me whatever you want, brother. It doesn't really matter. All right, guys, let's get into it. So where I left you guys off with last week, I believe, let's try to find Monday of last week, we bounced into resistance. So taking you guys back, I guess 2 weeks now, the proposed range that I put forth was something like this, right? It was using the all-time highs as our range highs, our 2-month value area low confluent with the yearly open as our mid-range, and then the 2024 value area high is our range low. This forms a perfectly clean range, and that was where the speculation was that we could bottom. We got a massive reaction off of 79K. And as crypto cred, or a lot of people in the industry say, and I've kind of stolen from them, is first test, best test, right? So the first test you get of any region, whether that be an EMA, an order block, support, a horizontal line, it doesn't really matter. The first test you get of that region is going to give you the most drastic reaction. Now, of course, this was aided by the weekend volatility of the Trump kind of headline on Sunday. Of course, that helped get us from like 85K to 93K in a straight shot. I think even without that, though, the reaction was fantastic, and I think it would have probably carried us just a little bit higher. I don't know if you would have gotten a perfect retest without that headline, but we were on that way regardless. We're back here now, right? So if we think that the first test is the best test, which it most often is, the second test is going to require a little bit more structure, which brings us back to this doodle that I tweeted out on Bitcoin last week. So I'm hoping for something like this to form now on the 4-hour, which is your classic like momentum loss pattern down at range lows, where bears drive you into support but are not really getting the same reward as they once were, right? Just drives down with weakening momentum. Some people are going to use momentum indicators here with RSI divs and stuff like that. I don't really particularly pay attention. I mean, I have it on my chart, but I don't really particularly pay attention to that or use that actionably. I think the price action will tell me enough. As far as low time frame trends being flipped, so we have a really clean 1-hour downtrend. We're looking for market structure breaks, basically a higher low, a higher high, a 1-hour trend break, a 4-hour trend break. That's going to cater much better towards proper relief, and will actually end up building a foundation of support rather than just these quick wicks into support. I think this time around, we're going to need to build a little bit more structure if we want to hold this region. If this is lost, I truthfully do not have any levels in my system other than the weekly demand. So the weekly demand was the last kind of down move before the the post-election run-up, right? So that would be 69K. And I think a lot of people are calling for 60, 64, 69. I don't make a big deal out of talking about what consensus is, because everyone's algorithms are different. Everyone's feeds are different. Everyone's viewpoints are different. So consensus ultimately becomes what your algorithm is feeding you, what my algorithm is telling me, what the people around me are saying, as I'm hearing a lot of calls for 60s, mid 60s, high 60s, stuff like that. So if we are going to do the classic thing that crypto loves to do, is going to be basically blowing through the level that everyone deems support, right? And then front running the next level that everyone wants to bid. So it very often happens something like this, right? Where we kind of just bottom in no man's land, right? We blow past the level that everyone wants to bid. We front run the next level that everyone wants to bid, and we end up bottoming in this location. I think that would pretty much cater to some kind of bottom in this region, at least a local bottom. Now, what's different? Right? What's different is that we've been trading crypto for the last 18 months or 2 years based on the fact that ES or stocks are in these parabolic uptrends. They're up only. Stuff like NVDA that I'm going to go to real quick and show you guys. This has been up only since 2022. We obviously see a big character shift, a big trend shift and stuff like NVIDIA. And if NVIDIA is going down, being such a large market cap part of the NASDAQ and the ES, if this is going down, all the other beta plays that are not as strong as the leaders are also going to come down. The indexes are going to come down, and you're seeing that ultimately playing out here on ES, right? ES has now broken a 15-month, basically weekly uptrend. bullish market structure, higher highs and higher lows the entire way through. We've set a lower high, we've set a lower low, we've lost the trend, we've closed below the trend. In my opinion, like, it's not even something that's controversial. This is broken market structure. This is trend loss. This is opening us up into a much bigger correction, possibly ultimately into like 5,100 to 5,200. I think I have it really cleanly marked out here on the dark charts. Let's just move over to this. Right, so very clean SR level right around the 5,500 region. This should give us a bounce, right? I don't think we're just going to slam right through this. We'll probably get a bounce. How high that bounce goes, I couldn't tell you. I said ultimately probably a rejection of the same trend that carried us on the way up. So maybe 5,600, maybe 57, 5,800. And if we're not able to reclaim, basically flip this back into support, right? Drive up high enough to where we can flip this into support, reclaim our weekly trends, and go on our merry way. If we can't do that, it's ultimately setting up a lower high and probably a lower low where you bottom into. Now, one thing to pay attention to is this is the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart. So think about how much time this could actually take to play out if this random doodle that I've drawn is anything near accurate, right? I can't predict what's going to happen. All I can do is take the highest EV probability based on the data that's presented to me. And the data being presented is that we were in a weekly uptrend. We have lost weekly market structure. We lost the weekly trends, and that opens us up into a much bigger correction on ES. So something like this doodle is essentially what I'm kind of preparing for. Now, what is that going to do to crypto? What is that going to do to Bitcoin? One dynamic we've seen in the markets for some time, and this is catered more to like a bull market dynamic, is that when ES is in these correctionary forms like this, Bitcoin and altcoins tend to bottom first. And by bottom, I don't mean they pico bottom. I mean they put in the bulk of their sell-off, 80, 90% of whatever they're going to sell off. They do it very early, and then they kind of meander around the bottom and start rounding off or forming a range or something like this. This is a dynamic we're used to seeing over the past couple years when it comes to the correlations between stocks and crypto. And think about why this happens logically. If you're someone that owns a bunch of assets, think about yourself in crypto. What are you going to nuke first? What are you going to dump first out of your portfolio? It's going to be the shittiest shit coins that are on chain. You're going to get rid of those first. You're going to hold on to your Bitcoin. You're going to hold on to, whatever you believe in the most, whatever that asset is for you. For a lot of people, it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or something like that. In the stock market, they kind of do the same thing. If they have a lot of exposure to NVDA and ES and futures contracts and Bitcoin, what are they going to sell first? They're going to sell their Bitcoin first, right? So if they're going to get rid of their risk to hold on to their quote unquote quality, the risk will sell off first and you'll run out of sellers on the risk side first, right? If I take you guys all the way back to this last bear market right here, you can kind of see the same kind of thing happening on Bitcoin, where Bitcoin literally bottomed in June, right? And it went sideways for 6 months until FTX. I know FTX made a lower low, but in the grand scheme of things, this wasn't that dramatic of a lower low, right? This was just kind of like 10% lower than our June lows, right? And during this whole time, like June into October, ES was still selling off, right? ES was still in the downtrend during this entire time. So Bitcoin did end up bottoming first. Now, what version of the market are we getting? That's anyone's guess. Are we getting a proper bear market? Is everything going to zero? Is Bitcoin going to 30K? I cannot predict that. I'm just looking for these kind of quote unquote, what do you want to call it? Correlation dynamics of, will Bitcoin kind of present to us a slowing momentum, lack of sellers, while ES continues to sell off for a little bit longer. Those are the dynamics I'm looking for. That's going to spark my brain to go, okay, maybe momentum is slowing in Bitcoin. Maybe we can start to add some risk back. And then since I'm going on this entire ramble right now, I might as well just close it off with altcoins before I get back to chat, which is the same dynamic I talk about on altcoins all the time, which is when parabola occurs and trends are broken, weekly structures are broken, market structure is broken, and these things reset, you need altcoins to go sideways for an extended period of time. You need these accumulation ranges to form, right? What altcoins in the market right now are doing this? I can't think of many, right? One off the top of my head, funny enough, is like Athena, which is now 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the 5th week of pretty much going sideways. Is this enough? Probably not. You're probably going to need another 5 to 8 weeks of some type of range forming before you can even speculate on Athena breaking out to the upside again. So ultimately, I think you have time in markets right now. Hopefully, for certain altcoins and certain things like Bitcoin, they can bottom a little bit sooner than ES and start forming accumulation ranges. But we'll have to see. And that's gonna, I'm gonna pause there. I did a lot of lecturing to open up the stream. Let's see what you guys are chit-chatting about. Negative EV to post alpha, only shit posts and tickers grow engagement. Dude, it's so fucking true. Like, even if I make an attempt to post anything rational, I get like 50 likes. I don't know how many followers I have now. It's too many. Too many followers to get like 50 likes, 80 likes. I post some just slop on the timeline like I did on Saturday, where being like, if all of these things happen, then we can run it back 500 likes, right? And I'm just like throwing random shit out there. I bring up like FTM and people are like, oh, okay, this is an excellent opportunity to shit on FTM. And they go crazy in the comments and then they retweet and share. So yeah, man, you tweet some dog shit on the timeline, you get more engagement. You tweet actionable setups, you don't get much. What is your advice for someone still holding coins now? It's the same advice I always give is, would you buy them right now? So if you have $100,000 in your account, or you came to crypto with let's just say $100. I don't know, I'm saying 100,000. Say you came to crypto with $100 and you bought something and now you're down 70%. So your total capital in crypto is $30 and you're exposed to a shitcoin and you have $30 in that shitcoin. The only question you have to ask yourself is, today, right now, would you buy $30 of this shitcoin? If the answer is yes, continue holding. And you have to formulate a brand new thesis for that coin and saying, this is my brand new RR. So if you take Athena, for example, since we're already opening it, you buy $100 right here. You're down at 30, right? That money's gone, right? You're basically taking a fresh trade now. You just got to ask yourself, would I buy $30 of Athena right here? And you'd frame it as a brand new setup. And you're saying, okay, my brand new thesis on Athena is it's going to form a range, right? If it loses this, I want to cut my trade. Basically, you have two options. Either you let the market try magically making your money back over X amount of weeks, months, or years, or you take that lesson, take that loss, and try to build and learn upon it and try to make that money back yourself. The money's gone. Unrealized losses are the exact same as losses. People just hold on to them forever, trying to break even, learning nothing in the process. If it was me, I'd take the L and I move on. I ask myself why I even let myself get into the position to take a 70% drawdown on a coin. I ask myself what went wrong along the way and try to learn from it so that I don't put myself in that position once again in the future to take 70% drawdowns on coins. But essentially, yeah, anything you're holding right now, you're just asking yourself the same question. Would I buy X amount of money of this coin right here today at this price? If the answer is yes, fair game, keep holding. If the answer is no, sell, move on with your life. Report Mario. The doc is like Dr. House. Waiting for 73K to buy some ENA looks bottomy. Damn, I was lied to then. I have no idea what you were lied to about, man. Is it the doctor stuff? I don't know. I don't know what you want to call me. I mean, I could be a practicing physician in 3 years. I did all the recommendations. I passed board certification. But am I a practicing physician? No. In other countries, I could be a practicing physician right now, but in the United States, there's required residency where they pay you 50 grand a year for 3 years and work you as slave labor for 27 shifts out of the month. IQ, OIQ, 0 IQ, retact. I basically just covered this, so I talked about this with this example. I think that applies to you as well. Report said, never report said. Look at the EUL chart. What is that? Has anyone ever heard of this coin? EUL. It's, yeah, I mean, it's not going up. It's not going down. It's not strong. It's not weak. You know, I don't know what market cap this is. I don't know what sector this is. I wouldn't call it strong, but I wouldn't call it weak either, right? It's literally just going sideways. How would you grow a Twitter account from 1K to 10K? Continue showing competence on the timeline. The only reason someone's going to follow someone with a low follower account is to show that you are someone worth following. The way that I did it was not to grow a Twitter account at all. I literally would just, in the bear market, post everything that I'm seeing in the market every day. Whatever trade that I saw, I was posting it. I was like, I'm going to take this setup. This is how I'm going to take it. Okay, I've entered this trade. It went right. It went wrong. If it went correct, I post the P&L card. I move on to the next trade. I would ask a lot of questions. So people like Trader Motif, Trader XO, Magus, I would be in their replies and I would ask them questions. I would post my charts and I wouldn't just say, hey, I see it like this. I would say, hey man, like, you know, this is the trade that I want to take. Do you, how do you see it, right? Essentially, or would you take it any differently? Or maybe they see a setup and something I'm already planning on trading, but I had a different level or a different thesis or different idea marked out. And then I post mine and I say, this is the way that I see it. You know, it's very interesting, right? Or whatever, right? So you just engage with people and, you know, the most important part is like, no one's going to follow you if you have nothing to offer. Right? Like you need to be someone that is providing value, sharing setups, sharing trade ideas, and proving that you can actually trade, not just talking the talk, but actually walking the walk, right? That's pretty much it. And it's slow fucking journey to do that if you actually want to do it. For me, none of that was important at all. It was just some part of me that wanted to share. So I did it in Discord. I used to trade all the time, like in the clinic. Some of the guys are probably in chat from the early days of the clinic and they remember I would just share everything, right? Whatever trade I wanted to take, I'd be like, I'm taking this here. I want to take this here. If price gets here, I want to take this. And that was part of my journey of journaling and trying to grow. And obviously a lot of people would see things differently and we would discuss, be like, why do you see this way? I see this way. Someone would be right. Someone would be wrong. The person that was wrong has an opportunity to grow then and be like, okay, you saw it this way. Maybe your method of doing this is better than mine. There's something for me to learn. I don't think it's worth your time though. I don't waste your time on Twitter unless you, for whatever reason, actually want to be a, Twitter KOL. Top 3 tips for beginners. Watch my videos that are labeled 16 tips for your journey to profitability, number 1. Number 2, pre-trade checklist. And number 3, intra-trade checklist. They're all on my YouTube profile here. If I asked myself would I buy now, I would also have bought 5 times on the way down. You got lessons to learn, man. That means you're very early on in your journey. You don't have a system or a framework for risk management, and you need to develop a risk management framework. You can't buy things with no invalidation. You can't buy a downtrend and be like, I'm buying here, and I'll just buy a little bit more here, and I'll buy a little bit more here, and I'll buy a little bit more here, and things finally bottom, and your average is here. So even when this accumulation range finally breaks out, it's got to be in an uptrend just for you to break even. This is not the way to trade markets. You need a system to manage your risk. So number 1 rule for you should be to develop a system that allows you to manage risk. So when you enter a trade, before you even click buy or sell or long or short, you go, I'm incorrect in my idea if X occurs. And if X occurs, I am incorrect and I'm taking a stop, or I'm cutting the trade and I'm moving on. I'm journaling, I'm repeating the process, and I'm trying to learn what I did wrong, and maybe the entire setup that I was taking was incorrect and I can take better setups, right? It's a whole process there. First thing should be focusing on risk management. Damn, we have 153 people in here. How did you guys even know I was streaming? That's pretty much the average that I normally get. So, okay, so that tells me one thing, that tweeting out that I'm live does nothing. Interesting. No one likes actionable setups because then their friends will figure out that they're just copy trading others. Interesting. I think also, you know, the way that the current market is, we have a lot of new participants, we have a lot of tourists, we have a lot of people that argue about TA. And I think the earliest form of kind of anyone's journey is thinking that there's one way to chart is better than another way to chart. Ah, Magus. Appreciate that, man. Magus is a legend. Thank you, Magus. I saw that earlier in chat, but I didn't know if he like tweeted it out or just like told people or something. I don't know. But that's sick. Euler is lending. A lot of TVL on Sonic. They got hacked in 2023. Okay, so this chart that I'm showing right here is some Sonic DeFi coin, apparently. Gun to your head. Do you believe Trump will allow stocks to stay in a bear market for an extended time? 3 months or fold? Bro, I don't know what Trump's going to do. I have no edge in politics or macro or tariffs or the Fed. I have no edge in that at all. I stay in my lane. Gun to my head from my 2 IQ point of view, no, I think Trump has too much of an ego and wants to win in everything, and he's just going to keep on speaking in circles and saying everything to put short-term patches over whatever at the current time being is wrong. That's what I think, but I have no idea, and my opinion's not valuable, in my opinion, on this topic. But I think, honestly, trading markets based on what he said, she said, the Fed said, Trump said, is not the most valuable. Twitter can be good for journaling. If you can't explain publicly why a trade is entered, it's probably not a good trade. 100,000%. 100,000%. And let me tell you something real quick. Why did I start streaming, right? The reason I stream nowadays is completely different than the reason I first started streaming. The first time I started streaming was just so I could hear myself saying the thoughts out loud. And so many times I would come on streams and I would say things and it would force me to think it through and actually explain everything. And a lot of times I would catch myself going, that's a really dumb thought process. Or if my analysis is on X, if my analysis on Bitcoin is X and my analysis on, you know, the S&P is Y and my analysis on Solana is Z, something is not adding up. Everything has to have a little bit of a correlation. I can't be high time frame bullish on one, high time frame bearish on another, and in between on this, and range bound on one thing. So coming on stream and just putting out analysis on a bunch of different coins would actually help me see the entire market, hear myself speak. So it was a form of journaling, and I could kind of learn from myself and just hear myself talk and be like, that actually sounds good. And sometimes people would give me coins. They'd be like, Doc, look at this coin. And I'd be like, damn, that wasn't even on my radar. I should actually go trade that, right? So it was a whole different vibe back in the day. Very happy you chose to quit medicine to be a trader and help us worth economic freedom, which in turn help us be happier and healthier. That's cool, man. That's nice to hear, because the main issue that I have to deal with as being a trader is like, I mean, I'm not really helping the world, right? Going from being a physician or a doctor, anyone in the medical field, at least you go to, like, money aside, doesn't really matter. You go there because you generally want to help people. I mean, I was interested in medicine because of the puzzles. I found diagnostics to be very interesting, which is why I wanted to go into ER, right? Like a short story about ER is like, when you get in there, you have no idea how old a patient is. Like, all these things are just thrown in your face in 1 second. How old they are, what gender they are, what they're going through, their entire history. And you have to quickly try to stabilize that patient. You can have a gunshot, you can have a pregnancy, whatever. That was very interesting to me. But at the end of the day, no matter how tired you are, you could at least feel like, man, I helped someone. You know, I helped someone feel better. They were in pain, this and that. With trading, you're kind of just doing everything selfishly, right? At the end of the day, I'm trying to make my life better and my loved ones' lives better, right? I'm trying to help people in my family, my girlfriend, eventually raise kids and all these kind of things. So there's a big difference mentally going from this, but, like, helping other people in the markets is pretty fucking sick. So I really appreciate that feedback. I've gotten some amazing feedback over the years. So trust me, guys, like it is really nice to hear those things if I helped other people along their journey, even if it's just helping you think about the markets in a different way, like whatever it may be. Because I remember the people that helped me along my journey. I talked about this in last week's stream and the week before, but you know, those people that paved the path for me, and I'm immensely grateful to them. You hear about White Rock? That almost sounds like a meme. White Rock instead of Black Rock. Am I being trolled? Is that a real thing? Apparently RWA, that is secured partnership with S&P to tokenize stocks and be able to buy on chain. But let me propose this idea to you guys. If you have the ability, even if you're not an American citizen, to get an IBKR, International Brokers account, and trade stocks on there, why would you ever want to do it on chain? Me as an American may have a different point of view because I have access to all the brokerages and I can trade stocks and everything. I know some people internationally have a hard time, but like IBKR or you know, international brokers is really easy and obtainable for a lot of people to trade stocks. Why? What is the benefit of trading stocks on chain? Would you stop trading after you hit a number? I would stop actively trading and intraday trading. I would be more investor mindset. Probably. I'd probably still trade when something obvious kicks up, but yeah, I wouldn't day-to-day trade. Love to hear it, man. I helped you survive 2024. Warming. I hope that's true. How can we use trading to help the world? We cannot. We cannot, unfortunately. I mean, if we make a bunch of money, you could just donate the money, or maybe you could start a business. You could do things to help the world after you made a lot of money. You can open up nonprofits. You could, you know, donate to research. I'm sure there's plenty of things you can do to get this guilt off your shoulders that all you've done is extract value from the world rather than providing value to the world. But actively trading, we're not helping anyone right here. We're just speculating on number go up, number go down. As a burger, I would prefer the ease of having everything on chain, no centralized exchange, no KYC, no banking days. I understand that. That's awesome, bro. Yeah, I saw your thing. Can't wait for the wedding. Yeah, me neither. Soon. You can put your capital to work and do far more good than people realize. Yeah. How many layers do you peel back when people ask you what you do for work and you say you're a trader? I don't say I'm a trader. I say I'm in finance, and hopefully that's enough for people. And if they ask me, oh, so what do you do? Like, and they keep on pestering and pestering and pestering, eventually I just say I trade stocks or I trade Forex. I literally will never mention crypto to anyone. Unless I know them personally, right? If it's just like a stranger, I'm not getting into the crypto conversation with anyone. No one in real life respects crypto, man. And I can understand why. If the president of the United States is bull posting crypto, but then launches a meme coin, like what is there respectable to say? Everyone just thinks you're a degenerate and thinks less of you. We got rugged by Trump, man. Crazy how all of CT supported him. Let me give you the counterpoint, though. This is where Trump got elected. We're still higher on Bitcoin. Right? If Kamala won the election, who knows where we would be? Like, we can't do this revisionist history and alternate universes. Who knows where we would have been? At least we got this bull market. At least we got this rally. We had nothing going on for us in here. You guys need to remember that. During this environment, all we were doing was soaking negative news. We were soaking the Japan yen carry trade. We were soaking Germany selling. We were soaking the Israel-Iran war, Mt. Gox selling, U.S. coins moving. We were soaking all this negative sentiment, but we had nothing bullish to go off of until Trump got shot. When Trump got shot, His odds for winning the election got repriced. Crypto starts going, hey, maybe Trump's bullish for Bitcoin. Then Trump starts going to the Bitcoin conference and saying, hey, I'll do SBR and I'll release Ross from prison and I'll make better crypto regulations and I will fire Gary Gensler, which everyone in crypto hated, or everyone hated Gary Gensler, should I say. All of these things were bullish, and it gave us this mentality that, hey, if Trump comes in office, things will go up. And to his credit, everything went up a lot. A lot. We damn near doubled, right? Over 3 months. Bitcoin put in a 2x. So, I don't know, man. Anything that's bullish for markets is eventually going to get sold into, right? What good is number going up if you don't take profits? So eventually people are going to want to take profits. People who bet on crypto down here and bet on after FTX blew up that this industry is not going anywhere, and they get vindicated in their ideas with ETFs going live, and they get vindicated in their ideas when the Bitcoin ETF is the most successful ETF of all time, and they get vindicated in their ideas when the sitting president of the United States is bull posting crypto. Of course, at some point, they're going to want to pay themselves for the risk that they took down here, and that's going to bring in sell pressure into markets, right? So, I don't know. There's a give and take to all these things. I wouldn't blatantly say that he rugged us. I would say that it is what it is. Bullish narratives come and go. We'll find a new bullish narrative somewhere down the line again. Not higher on total 3. Didn't we make a new all-time high on total 3? We literally did. I mean, that's kind of crazy. That's a crazy move to make. Certain altcoins went crazy. Look at like all the coins we were trading. FWOG did like a 3 billion X. You know, Hyperliquid launched, gave people $1 million airdrop, and then did another 10X. PEPE did a 3x from these lows, right? Ondo made higher lows and made new all-time highs, right? Virtuals came out of nowhere. We got an AI agent meta that, you know, provided millions of dollars of value to people that traded this, right? You know, like Fartcoin was all over the internet and credited by, like, you know, TradFi bros talking about it, right? Everything went up. You can't say that like we didn't have you know, a good time from October, November, December, even into January. But yeah, when he launches a meme coin, maybe reassess some things, right? When the sitting president of the United States launches a meme coin, that's probably the top of the meme coin super cycle. True story. My port is just lower than when he joined. Yeah, but nothing is given, my man. Like, that's what you need to realize. Like, just because you enter crypto and you buy stuff does not give you the right to expect that, hey, I bought a coin, I should be a millionaire, right? Maybe there was once upon a time that's how crypto worked, but the longer this industry is around, the less that is guaranteed to you. And the more hard you're going to have to work to make the money, because there's a bunch of other people in this market that want to make money, and we're all competing with one another. It's just like anything else in life that's competitive. This cycle has been such a trader cycle. Yeah, I'd say any type of thing that can be classified as a trade. It's not really an investor cycle. I've done a lot of positional trading, which means that I'm taking a trade thesis of X coin should reprice to X price, and it could take 3 months or 6 months or a year. I've taken, you know, positional trades in terms of, hey, I believe Bitcoin's going to break out. The other narrative strong in this market are AI coins and meme coins, and I can buy spot and positionally trade them. So it's not all about just like intraday trading or intra-week trading. There's been a lot of high time frame trades that you could take in markets. There's been a lot of positional trades you can take in markets. I've even held coins into long-term capital gains territory, right? I held PEPE for nearly 2 years, not quite, but over a year. So, I mean, there's been plenty of opportunity, but yeah, I would agree with you. It's been more PvP, right? It hasn't been sustained up only, open a centralized exchange, pull out 3 letters from a Scrabble bag, whatever those letters create, type in that ticker, buy 100K of that coin, wake up tomorrow morning, be up 50K. That doesn't exist. That existed for a brief period in 2021, and I think too many people believed that that was going to happen again. And I think if that was going to happen, we had a brief moment here on Bitcoin Dominance where something like that could have happened, but it did not. Right? The trend that carried us from the FTX lows, we broke down underneath it, and if we were going to get an alt season or whatever, it was going to happen. It was going to have to happen in this moment, and the fact that it didn't screwed a lot of people. It caused me to round trip some gains too. I didn't sell the Pico top on Pepe. I didn't full stack exit my FWOG position at the Pico top. I didn't do any of these things perfectly. You know, I ran grass from 60 cents to $4. I exited at 220. There's not a lot of people that played this crystal clear 100% perfectly. But, you know, there were a lot of warning signs and risk signs that could have allowed you to de-risk along the way as well. What was the question that I missed? Do you see a relief bounce happening this week? I'm not going to try to make that prediction or anything like that. I'm simply going to be looking at the data that I presented to you guys to open up the stream, right? Which was talking about we need to see a rounding at these lows. We need to see trend breaks, right? How can I speculate on relief when the dominant trend is with the bears, right? So I'm not going to be calling tops in a trend. The same thing I do, right? Let me just take you a step back and explain this ideology that I use in markets. If we're in an uptrend and we're respecting the daily trend, I'm not calling top on every single one of these like pushes. I don't just call top and look for reversal and say, you know, V-shaped reversal to the downside. We've Pico topped. I entertain those ideas when the trends break. Similarly, in a downtrend, I'm not going to be the one saying that we are going to V-shape reverse to the highs and get relief and this and that unless we get significant trend breaks. And like I said to open up the stream, the first test of any region will give you the most significant bounce. From there, it becomes more structural. So right now, if I flip this chart upside down and I show it to you from a bullish perspective, would you guys short this? Maybe you'd speculate, hey, we're coming back to the same level. You know, there could be something here. But if you're looking to take a bigger swing and a bigger trade, you're going to want some trends to break. You're going to want some structure to shift. You're going to want some trends to break so that you can nail an invalidation and be like, this is my thesis. My thesis is that we've broken structure bearishly. We got a bearish rejection. We got a lower high. We got a shift in character. I'm going to take this short. My invalidation is X, Y, and Z versus just blindly, you know, shorting this high, if you will. I know they're inverted, but, you know, blindly longing this low and just being like, we're going to get relief. Same situation of saying that in this scenario, right? I wouldn't advise for blindly shorting any of these highs, right? Even if you get a little bit of a reaction, the overall dominant trend is still up. Do you think meme coins put in a lower high? I think a lot of meme coins look trash. I think Pepe's probably, maybe Dogecoin actually, not Pepe. I'll do Doge in a second, but if Pepe can hold, where's my line chart? Like this range low, and it can begin to round off here, right? And we can start forming a range in here. Yeah, I think they have an opportunity the next time, if and when Bitcoin goes risk on again, to put in big moves. Will it make new all-time highs? I couldn't tell you. In fact, I'd probably bet against a new all-time high on Pepe, but maybe a lower high, yes, absolutely. But it all depends on, can this go sideways, first of all? Can Bitcoin start going sideways, right? All of these things need to occur first. Do you have any videos on shorting? I struggle with it more than longing. Literally just flip your charts upside down and apply the exact same concepts. There is no difference in the setups that I take on the long side or the short side. They're all structurally the same, whether I'm using trends or price action or liquidity or order flow. It doesn't matter what techniques I'm using. Anything that I've taught on the long side can be applied to the short side. And if your brain struggles with it, literally just flip your charts upside down. If you're just used to longing only, just literally just flip your charts upside down and allow this to be your bias. Yeah, if you guys are jumping into the stream late and you want my thoughts on Bitcoin, the market, altcoins, ES, and everything like that, you're going to have to go back into the stream a little bit because I did a whole opening, I don't know, 10 minute, 15, 20 minute talk on all these topics. So all that's there for you. And if you don't feel like going back, I'm totally fine with that. You could wait till tomorrow. Everything will be timestamped. You can always just come back, click the timestamp, and then check it out then. Also, hopefully, if Twitter's working by tomorrow, I'll have my 3 to 5 minute weekly outlook out on Twitter. Do you guys think, here's a sidebar, do you guys think, I don't know how many of you guys have seen it, but I've been putting out on Tuesdays like 5 minute, really quick market outlooks on Twitter in video form. Would you guys want those on YouTube as well? Because I'm thinking about just, I'll put it on Twitter, but also just upload it to YouTube, and it can be its own little 3 minute market outlook weekly. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it ends up being. I think people are mad that an 8-month range breakout only gave us 2 months of a trend. I remember you posting the same ideas. When a range breaks, we get longer lasting trending period. 100%. I think, I'm disappointed in it as well. I'm most disappointed not in Bitcoin, but in Solana. As someone who was a Solana believer from the teens and 20s, seeing Solana be one of the most bullish charts last year in 2024, while all other charts were doing this and reaccumulating down here, Solana held value the same way Bitcoin held value, right? And when everything is clear skies, all Solana does is a fart push to take out its all-time high in 2021 and fully retraces back into the 2024 composite values. That to me was the most disappointing part, right? I think I can't be disappointed on PEPE. I know I've been wanting it to flip SHIB for 2 years. It came up short. It came up within 40%. It didn't do it. Am I disappointed in that? Yeah, maybe it would have been cool, kind of nice to have that as like a trophy that we actually did flip SHIB. But structurally speaking, I think Solana was the most disappointing to me. Obviously, other people are going to be saying Ethereum, because Ethereum didn't even make new all-time highs. We didn't even break 4K. We made equal highs. Of course, this is the most disappointing one. But to me, it's going to be Solana. I think Bitcoin did a fantastic job. I don't think we can be disappointed in Bitcoin. Like, look at what we've gotten over the last 2 years or 3 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? 2 years. It's been phenomenal. But yeah, I think for me, it's going to be Solana would be the most disappointing. And I agree with you, such a long consolidation only leading to a few months of up only. Yeah, that sucks. Oops, actually want to leave that. Let's take a look at Solana here. So one thing I wanted to see for Solana, this black highlighted box is the 2024 composite value, right? So if we take a volume tool, which I've already done and kind of deleted just for cleanliness, this is your value area low, this is your value area high. I would have loved to see Solana begin to round out in this location. The fact that we're kind of now accepting below it obviously opens up, this move right here to take out this low at 109, right? And, if we come up and do something like this where we run this low and get back up in here and reject, yeah, I don't think that's going to look very good. This is probably going to be a really good shorting opportunity too on Solana. BONK at basement level if it doesn't hold new all-time lows. I think BONK already broke all structure and everything. Like, this is the worst BONK has looked this entire cycle, dude. Where are we? Oh my god. Like, it's so crazy. This was the last bullish thesis that I had on BONK, was that we were forming an accumulation here, and if we could break and hold above 35, right? If we could break and hold above 35, we have a bullish trigger to go long again. That ultimately did not work out, didn't play out, didn't pan out, and look at what has happened ever since. Yeah, I think, you know, these are your last lows on BONK. What would make you long Hyperliquid again? If we break the 4-hour downtrend, I'm glad someone asked about this. I actually wanted to, I took a position on Thursday and didn't get the reaction I wanted. So what I want to see here, right, when we get these spike downs in demand, it looks, okay, so first of all, I need to clarify, this looks different on KuCoin and Dex Screener, right? The levels for demand are different on KuCoin versus Dex Screener. So it's a very interesting note to point out. Dex Screener has the full history. KuCoin doesn't have the full history. This is obviously like listing volatility that looks a little bit different when the liquidity is different on one exchange versus another. Okay, with all that out of the way, what I wanted to see on Hyperliquid was a large spike down into demand. Basically something like this. Nuke us into demand and give us a good reaction. This would be a good knife catch because we're in a very good location, right? Or a break of this trend. The 4-hour trend has bullied us for so long, right? So the speculation here is two things. Either spike down, give us a really, really good selling climax that we could kind of long back up and hope that we can break the 4-hour downtrend on the way up, or we curl around here, right? And we just kind of start breaking through, which opens up this gap fill. If neither of these things are happening and you're just kind of getting bodied and bodied and bodied by the 4-hour downtrend, I don't think you want to be involved in this trade. But this is something that I was speculating on last week. I took an attempt at being long Hyperliquid. I didn't get the reaction I wanted whatsoever. The speculation, once again, was based on like the Dex Screener chart of, hey, we tagged that demand. Maybe we can round off through this. When we start doing that, we just get bullied and bullied and bullied. It's not a trend that I want. It's not a trade that I want to be a part of. So yeah, those are the things that I would want to see. Number one, basically, just break this shit, right? Just break this first, and then we can talk about a little bit of relief. Possibly into here. I'm missing a lot of questions. You think we'll arrive at 60K? Possibly, man. I don't like to make predictions like that, but maybe, yeah, possibly. If we accept back in last year's composite on Bitcoin, 100%. Spring 2023, I longed the wrong coin, and it was one of my best trades. Spring 2023. I got you. But that market structure only held for a short time, yeah. You're still only a long-only trader. You're flat now. I started to short the past few weeks. I haven't been spot long since January, so I've been flat in my spot portfolio for 2 months now. I've been trading intraday mean reversion, which I don't really talk about on the public channel, but I'm trading the low time frame 1 minute charts mean reverting. I have a bread and butter setup on Bitcoin, and that's really just all I take. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and that's it. Are you looking into DeFi coins? Nope. Investing long-term positional trades? Nope. Why is Twitter down? Can someone chart Twitter? Yeah, short this shit to zero. Piece of shit, doesn't work. What is your current plan in today's market? Do you still really confident here there are profits to be made as of today? I think this is the advice that I'm going to give to people. This is the moment where if you really love markets and you really love trading, this is your opportunity to actually learn. Because easy mode is gone, up only is gone, being rewarded for bad long entries is gone, holding spot. I mean, you're seeing a lot of high time frame structures get fucked, right? Let me just show you real quick, right? Here's Solana. Where is monthly or weekly? Let's get rid of all this. This is your weekly trend from $20 that held you the entire way. This weekly trend's broken. I don't want to be spot long into a broken weekly trend on a major, right? I don't want to do this. So you don't have the opportunity right now, in my opinion, to be DCAing spot on certain coins. I don't like a lot of coins, probably all of them. But what you do have the opportunity to do is to learn how to trade the right way, learn how to manage risk the right way, learn how to set invalidations, learn how to pick setups apart, build a repertoire, put arrows in your quiver, and be ready for the next time this market goes absolutely, batshit crazy, because it'll probably happen again. This is the start of my journey of like actually learning how to fucking trade. This is the last time that I got humbled in markets, was December 4th, 2021. Big capitulation across markets. That was the moment where I said to myself, all right, it's time to put the ego on the side, admit to myself that I don't know, fuck about shit or shit about fuck. And I need to learn the right way. And who in this market can I learn from? Who's nailing the tops? Who has got proper risk management structure, and who can teach me the fundamentals? Let me go learn from them. Let me pick up their framework. Let me start tinkering, and let me start building the right way. And I did that for a lot of this, and it started paying off after a short time. And I was ready for this for the last 2.5 years or 2 years or whatever it's been. So look at that in the same way. Like, if this is going to go to zero, this could be your starting point. Right? You can look back on this in 2 years and be like, damn, thank God that I trained in hard mode, because easy mode was so goddamn easy. What if their ego doesn't let them flip the chart? I'm going to stop you right there. Then kill your ego, bro. What good is your ego? That's it. What do you want me to give you, a second opinion on that? Yes, on YouTube. Okay, that shows how behind I am on chat. I'm gonna skip some questions to get. Okay, so a lot of people are asking about spot holding. Let me show you. Let's do a random coin. AVAX was one of the most hyped coins last cycle and had a dog shit cycle, right? This was like the start of the capitulation for AVAX, right? This is where we lost our trend, right? This was our lower high bounce. This is where we lost our weekly trend. This is the capitulation that followed. Let's say you didn't even sell here at $35, right? You sold let's say you sold the Pico bottom of this capitulation, right? We still went 76% lower. Went all the way to $8 from 35, right? So there's a lot lower that coins can still go. And if you're bag holding from here, did you even break even this cycle? Look at this. The last time I looked at AVAX was here in June of 2024. This was the doodle for June of 2024. Half of it played out, the other half didn't. Okay. Have you considered Forex for when bear market dead volatility? Absolutely not, bro. There's still so much volatility in crypto. There's still so much volatility in crypto. You don't need Forex. Yeah, you're right about the Solana market cap stuff. Why should you be disappointed about a chain that extracts money from on-chain all the time and doesn't reinvest it back into the chart? Just lower the expectations, should be different. I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm not trading fundamentals. I'm trading charts. My expectations come from different things. Any views on Syrup, Maple Finance? Is that the Agony coin that he sent me in Paragon this morning? Good morning, Nexus. Good morning, my brother. He sent it this morning, I think. Is that this? No thoughts on this. No thoughts on this, really. It has kind of formed an accumulation. That's about it. It's still kind of dead set in the middle of an accumulation range. No trends to be spoken of. Price action dominated. Tried to break out. Big high delta move out of the range. Completely canned. Full mean reversion. Full retrace to the origin of the move. Not bullish for breakout in my opinion. Daily trend too flat to be considered a trending asset on the high time frame. Sitting at mid-range. Mid-range is not a place where you want to speculate on up or down because you're trading at the average traded price. If you're not using volume, right? So, you know, let me clarify that for people that are really anal about volume profiles. Mid-range is basically the average price or the middle of the price that's been traded. You get edge from trading around range high or range low, not range mid. Nothing much here. Just let something more obvious slap me in the face, then I'll look at it again. I'm interested in your... Oh, actually, hold up. We have promo codes. Wait a minute. I think... Let me go on my Discord real quick. I completely forgot about this. I actually asked Charlie 2 weeks ago. I was like, yo, can you make some promo codes for me to give away on stream? And then I completely forgot last week's stream, and I almost forgot until you mentioned it. So here, hold on, I have it. Let me check my pinned messages. All right, here you go. There's the promo code for Paragon. If you guys want to join Paragon, there'll be a link in the description box below under this video. Type in that promo code and you'll get a discount. I don't know how many of these there are. Like, I don't think it's infinite, right? So, like, I don't know how many you put on here. It might be like 10 discount codes. So, like, first come, first serve, have at it. But there you go. There's your discount code. Thank you for reminding me. I completely forgot. The amount of times I've seen people say BONK was one of the best looking charts a few months ago. Bro, even I said that. I thought BONK looked fantastic. But here's the thing. With any trade that looks good, you can still be wrong. You can say something looks phenomenal, and then it could just break down from whatever you're looking at, right? So whatever level I had here, I don't even remember what chart I was using, or maybe it was MEXC. See, all these are like, dude, they're just like plans. Like, if this happens, then this can happen. That's the way you need to treat your trading, right? So I'm pretty sure I even tweeted out that BONK looked fantastic because this was all sideways price action. This is a mega move outside of this range. All you want to see as a bull from this point of view is, can we hold a higher low? Can we hold outside of this range? Can we prevent a perfect retest of that 35 level? Can we stay outside of this? Can we build a new value up here and find new buyers up here and then get trend continuation? Because this is how you trade breakouts. Anytime you get a tight consolidation, doesn't matter if you're trading a range or volume profile, a VWAP, anything. Anytime you're trading consolidation, you get a breakout. You don't want a perfect retest. You want a shallow retest, maybe a little bit of consolidation, and then continuation. If you drop back into this range, that idea is fucked. Even if you test this, right? Let's say you do this and you perfectly retest, even that is dog shit, right? Look at Solana. It did that. That's your warning sign that even Solana looks dog shit. You have a perfect range, you break out and you perfectly retest this last range. You don't want to do that. You want to build value higher so you can get trend continuation. So yes, BONK did look fantastic for a certain point of view, but then a few weeks later, it no longer looks fantastic. That's part of being a trader, guys, is like, you take the new data. You don't just, you know, form this thesis and that's your thesis for the next 9 months because you said it one time. Things change very rapidly. I know you don't predict, but if you had to give a percentage of what are the chances the market is topped versus yet another blow off top, what would you say? I say... Here's how I'll give it to you. If there's, it's already looking fucked. But here's the thing. If we can hold here or something, I think we can push back up to new all-time highs and kind of like double top. If we trade all the way back into here, I just think it's fucked completely. Like, there's just no redeeming quality. of this market. If we can kind of form a range somewhere in here while the ES breaks down and ES puts in his correction and ES finds supports a little bit lower, right? If ES starts doing this and holding while Bitcoin does something like this, I think the next time ES bounces, Bitcoin can go to new all-time highs again. And then it'll end up being possibly something like this. We'll have to see though, like, what good are these predictions? Again, it comes down to the same thing with the BONK example like 5 minutes ago. Something can look terrible today and then look fine the next week. Look at how crazy, like if I had to take predictions from Bitcoin itself, whoops, how do I, look how insane this looked just last week. And then a week later, it looks completely different. So what good is any of this like predicting doing for us? Just react to the data that's given to you, right? Form a thesis based on the data that's given to you, trade that thesis. When that thesis is proven incorrect, move on to the next one. If that thesis is proven correct, take your profits and move on to the next one. All right, I'm going to skip some of this stuff so I can get caught up in chat. It's just not going to happen otherwise. When Lear education? Bro, let's go. I need Lear video editing education. I know this is off topic, but I'm in a competition at work where I most likely am winning a trip to Cancun with a possible +1. If I win, you are my first choice. You're not going to take your wife? I'm honored, bro. Let's run it. Let's go. Let's be some fucking gay boys in Cancun together. Caro, I think I explained exactly why I was disappointed in Solana. You're trying to create a different topic entirely. I'm talking simply about price, consolidation, and expansion. I'm disappointed in the outcome of the overall return based on the thesis that I put forward last summer betting on Solana. I'm not disappointed in the overall price structuring of Solana. I'm not disappointed in the overall returns of Solana. I'm not disappointed in the fundamentals of how I use Solana. I like using Solana over Ethereum and everything like that. Whatever version of this argument you feel like having, you can have it with yourself, my brother. I'm not here to argue fundamentals or anything like that, or chain extraction or whatever you feel like talking about. You got to have nomad's mentality. Easier said than done, because we're humans, are emotional. You got to be able to flip switches, bull, bear, cash. Yeah, I mean, look, let me go through one of these moments with you guys with PEPE, right? So this is easier said than done. When you're buying a coin, so like, let me take you guys through the full history of my experience with this. We don't even need any of these anymore. When PEPE is dropping 80-90%, right, in 2023, and I'm picking up these coins saying that I want to bet on this coin because I believe that it could flip ship, right? And it's 90% down. You got some of the best traders in the industry, people that I respect and look up to, calling it the atom of meme coins, right? And I still have the courage to buy this coin, bet on it, and say, look, my thesis is, or my invalidation is, this coin goes to zero. That was my invalidation for my spot pickup. I was like, okay, I'm comfortable. If this goes to zero and all my money goes to zero, that's fine. That is the risk that I'm willing to take to bet on this coin, right? And I have to have this headstrong mentality that it's going to flip SHIB. And when this happens and all other coins are popping off and BONK is going into the top 100 and BONK is going crazy and everyone's trading BONK and BONK's putting in a 40x and BONK guy is being featured everywhere, and this is where PEPE is while BONK is all the way up here, I still have to stick with my thesis. When we're doing this rally and all of CT is shilling whiff and it's whiff and it's whiff and it's whiff and it's whiff, and I'm still saying, no, I believe PEPE is the chosen one this cycle. I'm sticking with my thesis. That's difficult. You have to stick with a certain level of conviction. You have to be very headstrong in your idea and say, no, my invalidation was that it would go to zero. I'm going to see this trade play out. And then you're being vindicated on your idea. Now PEPE is the dominant one, and you're finally saying, look, I told you guys I was right. This is the best coin of the cycle. When it's holding value and it's not retracing and it's creating an accumulation range, I think that it's, I'm being vindicated in my idea again. When it's the first coin that's being launched onto Coinbase and Robinhood and everything like that, vindication. But then when I see the same system play out that has helped me guide my risk every time, let me show you guys here. Every time the daily trend is lost on PEPE, I'm getting big corrections on the weekly. Every time the daily trend is lost, I'm getting big corrections on the weekly. Every time the daily trend is lost, I know that I'm going to get a big correction on the weekly. Even though I am so bullish and I'm saying, look, SHIB is only 40% away. SHIB is right here. We're just there. We can do it, right? And my whole thesis of 18 months of being headstrong and being bullish on this coin, but the data presented to me is the opposite. Same kind of mechanic that I'm telling you guys about with, range breakouts and reentries. It's the exact same thing here. Here's your range. There's your breakout. There's your reacceptance back on the range. If I've got two bearish things going for me here, I have to put that on the side and say, am I willing to give this money back to the market, or should I be capitalizing on the gains that I made here? Right? That's not something that's not easy to do. You have to be pliable as a trader and say the data being presented to me is saying one thing, even though my brain is saying another thing. Right? So that's all part of a trade thesis and being a trader. But yeah, I will 100% agree with you. It's not easy to flip those switches mentally. It's not easy to just go, man, I got to sell this. And if it turns around and it goes and it hits that target, man, I got to find a way to get back in. What is my backup plan if I'm wrong? What if it goes up from here? Am I going to get back in? Am I going to put the full size of the position back on? Am I going to put half size of the position back on? Now I have to pay taxes on this position. It's long-term capital gains. How much of that am I putting aside to the bank? All of these things have to go into your mind when you're taking all these trades, right? Physician talking about markets was wrong. More news at 8. Is that supposed to be like a dig at me or something? Good luck, man. Good luck getting under my skin. Work speaks for itself. I'm snitching on you to Magus. No Cancun trips with another man. Fair enough, man. Magus fucking left me hanging. We were supposed to go snowboarding in February. That never panned out. He owes me a trip, bro. I can't seem to use the discount code if I want to play with crypto. Is that normal? I don't know now. Charlie handles the accounting. If you want to do me a favor and ask him, bro, that'd be sick. He'll get you hooked up. I never do the accounting stuff, so I don't know how it works. All right, first time in an hour and a half I caught up with chat. Unbelievable. Good morning, Raven. All right. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. What have we got over the past hour and a half? I really don't have any levels under 79, man. Either for high time frame or low time frame. They're all the way down at 74. We're gonna have to either develop some new value and levels here on low time frame, or this rounds off at 79K and we break some low time frame EMAs and we can get some proper relief. Pretty large sell-off this morning. I don't think we need this drawing anymore. Let's see what happens, guys. I think, you know, if you guys missed the top of the stream, I'm just going to go over it again. What I want to see is a divergence in the weakness between Bitcoin and ES at this moment. It's something that we've seen in markets before. It's not brand new. It's nothing that's too shocking. We've seen moments where the majority of the Bitcoin sell-offs happen early and they kind of don't really need to sell off much more, because people who dump their risk assets, you know, for certain people in the stock market, they look at Bitcoin as an extreme tail risk asset. That's going to be the first thing that they dump. For people in crypto that are crypto natives, Bitcoin is going to be the last thing that they dump, right? So if they're concerned about ES selling off and they want to liquidate assets and they want to build cash and they want to dump stuff, they're dumping Bitcoin first and they're holding on to their precious ES and everything like that until the very end, right? That's going to be something they're not going to want to sell. So it's very possible, right? Like I said, we've gotten these moments plenty of times before where ES is making lower lows and Bitcoin kind of starts showing some relative strength. The funny part is, what you guys are going to see though, is there's going to be moments like, let me put a hypothetical out here. We've seen this too. I remember this being a dynamic too in 2022, where during these sell-offs, right, like ES will be going like this and Bitcoin will just kind of be doing this, like very, very weak compared to what ES is doing. And then ES will have this mega bounce, like bear market rally, and Bitcoin will do fuck all. And people will be betting on Bitcoin to go up and it won't do shit. These used to be really funny times where we would bet on like relief on Bitcoin and nothing would happen. And then just somewhat later where we would have like these crazy whipsaw short squeezes. I remember one in September of 2022. That was a massive one. I'll never forget this whipsaw we got. Where is it? There it is. September of 2022, where we're kind of just crabbing down, doing whatever. We had this massive short squeeze on Bitcoin that led to nothing and full barted. Who should I ask to? Bitcoin Charlie. On Twitter. He handles the accounting for Paragon. If I want to learn about markets and trading and stuff, how do I start? I know CryptoCred got a good playlist for basics. What's next? Would you suggest ITT? Well, did you watch the CryptoCred basics already? I think you should start there. I think you should start there. You should start by actually doing stuff versus adding more kind of, what should I call it? This thing that people do, forget about trading and markets for a second, but whenever someone's trying to learn something, they do this thing where they do research into what they should be doing, and they kind of feel this dopamine rush that they're getting things done. They're like, oh yeah, I got these things. Okay, I got my textbooks, I went to Office Max, I got my pens and my pencils, and I got my backpack, and I'm so ready. I downloaded this software that'll help me take notes in college. But then they don't actually do the work and take the notes in college and do everything like that. But they feel vindicated that they're getting shit done. Same thing happens with trading. I think a lot of people will pile on and be like, okay, this resource I got, and they'll just keep hunting different resources without actually doing anything. So I think what's important, you got the crypto cred, start with crypto cred, right? If you want to start with ICT, ICT's got public mentorships where he teaches a lot of ICT concepts on YouTube. Go to his YouTube channel and watch his, I think he had it in 2022. That was the one that I watched, but the 2022 ICT mentorship, go ahead and watch that one. There's publicly available education. You know, I try teaching little nuggets of things that I pick up in my experience here on stream. And TraderXO will teach you the framework of trading ranges and invalidations, and then the quality of setups and picking your spots, and not trading if you don't get a trigger. Magus will teach you, you know, high time frame outlooks, and he'll probably drop some nuggets of wisdom, even though he doesn't want to, but he'll drop them occasionally on his streams too. He'll leak a lot of alpha. Definitely worth watching his streams. But there's free education available everywhere, man. You don't really need to pay for anything. The difference between paying for stuff, and I've been there, like I was a student at Paragon. I went to the Haven. I studied at the Haven for a month to learn from Pierre. When you pay for stuff, you just get it quicker, right? Everything's available for you publicly, but a lot of people don't want to put in that work, right? You could do this right now. You could watch every single one of my streams for the past year, and you'll have come out of it learning a lot of stuff. I'm going to repeat a fuck ton of things over the past year. I'm going to say the same things again and again, but you are going to pick up on a lot of things. Do you want to put in the work and watch all those streams? Probably not. Are you holding any spot alts? Nope. Not since January. Please don't bring back the 2022 summer Bitcoin SPX relationship. SPX went up only a Bitcoin range. Yup. Where was the one that pissed everyone off? It was this one. This one was maddening. From June until August, ES got massive relief and Bitcoin did fuck all. And then, then ES got bodied. This is also the reverse side. From August all the way in September, ES was getting bodied. What did crypto do? Literally nothing. It was already bottomed. That was your hidden kind of, hey, I should start putting chips back on the table here. I should start getting bullish again on crypto. And this is your black swan, which did nothing, right? Like in the grand scheme of things, we didn't even go that much lower. We went 10% lower. Who cares? Literally just trading at the same values at our last capitulation. Yeah, this was a massive mental shakeout for some people where they started calling for 10K and 8K and stuff. You will wish you bought at 75 or 80K in 3 months. This is the bottom 90%. Can hit 65K though. I'm redoing all my basic education right now. So the question is there noob education or is there beginner education in Paragon? And let me just screenshot what I'm doing right now. So these are all I have 4 of these videos recorded. The entire thing should be done by maybe the end of this week, maybe early next week, but yeah. So I'll have a video on every single one of these things by probably the end of this week. That's a common feedback that I've gotten in Paragon is like a lot of the stuff is too advanced and there's not enough beginner stuff in there. So I've made it a point to add a lot of like beginner trading stuff. Do we all have the sunk cost bias if we're still holding through? I think so. I think to a certain extent that's kind of hard to avoid is like this mentality of I've already eaten such a big drawdown, like fuck it, let it go to zero. Or if I sell now, I'm selling a bottom. I remember a lot of people going through that in 2022. I mean, I sold where I thought was like a bottom and things went fucking infinitely lower. Like I thought I was stupid for selling here, right? This capitulation happened this capitulation happened. I held all through this. And then we got like this happening and people were saying we're bullish and we're bullish and we're bullish and we're bullish and whatever. And I remember Trader XO being very bearish at this high. He was calling out that was like a bearish retest of local range highs and everything like that. And he nailed that trade. And he was who I was learning from day to day during that time. And that's when I basically sold everything. And I thought like, I'm selling a bottom, I'm selling into a downtrend, I'm selling this, like whatever. Look what happened in the market afterwards, man. I'm not saying this is going to happen again. I'm just saying, you know, I don't know. Like here's the thing that we always say on streams. No one wants to sell into weakness. No one wants to sell into strength, but you will always be happier if you sell on the way up versus trying to sell on the way down. No one likes doing this. This is almost harder to do, right? If you held whatever you held, you bought in here, you bought in here, you bought in here, and you did not sell this, it is so hard for people to sell on the way down. It's almost impossible for people to do mentally. And if you don't do it, you're going to do it eventually, right? This is why I preach, the number one thing that I preach is having an invalidation for your trade idea, right? You can have evolving R invalidations too, right? As trades move up, you can use your trends as your bias and just say, basically, I'm just going to cut the position whenever the trend breaks. Yeah, you don't catch the top, you miss the Pico top, but at least you're locking it in when the trend that carried you to the top breaks. Yeah, let's not be toxic in chat, guys. We don't need to talk about people sizing and shit. Hearing friends tell me to buy the dip on NVIDIA thinks, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. People get rewarded for buying the dip in an uptrend and then don't understand when an uptrend is ended. As someone who uses very simple tools like me for recognizing high time frame trends, like, is this the dip that you want to buy? All of these dips were for buying. People have been conditioned over 2 years to buy the dip and just be rewarded for every single dip. I don't think they recognize that structure has shifted, that we're making lower highs and lower lows, that we've lost our weekly trend. Don't think they recognize that. I think, if I remember correctly, Tesla had a very similar easy signal last cycle too. Held the weekly trend the entire way up, lost it, put in a lower high, put in a lower low. That's the start of your fucking disgusting bear market, right? Those are the dips that you didn't want to buy, and it all started with like trend loss and structure break. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Oh my God. What the fuck? Tesla trading like a shitcoin right now. Holy shit. I did not realize that. 53% down in 3 months. Oh my God. I did not realize that Tesla was doing that right now. That's hilarious. XO is a legend. I agree, man. Absolute legend. I hope you're the guy. I hope you're paying the guy who came up with that. Dude, I don't even know who said that. Livid, do you know who said that first? Because that sell into strength or be forced to sell into weakness quote is not my quote. It's not Charlie's quote and it's not Magus's quote. It was a member of Paragon that said that. And it was the most aptly put like sentence that you could talk about in risk markets. And we've all stolen it and said it a billion times. And I literally don't know who said that the first time. Do you have your indicators available in Paragon? Yeah, all of these things are available. Like everything on here is available, man. You shouldn't join Paragon for indicators though. That shouldn't be like the selling point. But yeah, they're all available in there. Tesla trading like Elon's a crook. All political. That's soul printed on the Tesla chart. Oh my god. Angry Dems in the US are really putting up a dent, or putting a dent in the chart. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of crypto traders? Bruh. I mean, GCR, Kobe, like the easy ones. Loma. Anyone who's made it to like fucking 9 figures. I think GCR is a billionaire. Kobe's probably secretly a billionaire. Loma, if he's not a billionaire, he's worth multiple 9 figs. So those 3. I don't know who the 4th one would be. I really don't know. It's crazy how the S&P just keeps going down. I mean, it is what it is, man. When trends are lost, these are the things that happen. There's your volatility spike. We want this to be, where's my, there we go. Okay, I was wondering what the hell's going on. Yeah, I need this to be a high volume. Like, give me a mega print that's bought back up. Otherwise, screw this. What were we looking at? ES? Probably bounce here soon. I think when we get to the 55s, we'll get a bounce. We'll start waning momentum. This is the 2024 yearly VWAP. Very clean, just support and resistance level here on high time frame, on the daily chart, on the weekly chart. And I think you have the weekly 100 as well. Yeah. So somewhere in here, I think will be a really solid bottom. There's going to be a lot of confluence in here. I think ES will probably give you a mega bounce. We'll have to see what Bitcoin does, because I think just paying attention to this will give you better triggers for Bitcoin than Bitcoin itself. Loma's the GOAT. Yeah, man. Didn't know Loma was like that. I mean, like I said, when I was in the Haven in 2022, I was in there for like a month or so, and I just remember him putting on size that I thought was like unfathomable, and he kept on repeating, this is bear market size, so I'm like sizing down and I'm taking small size trades. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy trading with this much size at the FTX lows? Brother eats organic blueberries the size of my hands. You need money to eat like that. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know who the 4th one would be. Who are you guys' Mount Rushmore of traders? Let's see what you guys, who are you guys looking up to? I have a different Mount Rushmore for traders that helped me. Like, if I didn't stumble across them, I wouldn't be who I was, or I wouldn't be where I am, or whatever that, whatever I'm trying to say. How do you combine MAs and VWAPs in your analysis and trading? I look at VWAPs as value being built and deviations away from value. I look at EMAs as trends. So I use EMAs when I believe that the market's in a trending environment, and I don't use VWAPs. Trend breaks are very important for me. And then VWAPs I look at as areas for levels. So a value area high is a level, the VWAP is a level, the value area low is a level, reacceptance underneath a value area high will probably take you to the VWAP. Underneath the VWAP will try to take you to probably value area low, those kind of things. So I use them as levels, as kind of like dynamic ranges. And I use EMAs as actual trends. Jesus Christ, Jingo. Capo. Who's Silicone? Who's that? Michael Saylor. Honestly, real talk, Michael Saylor's got to be one of the GOATs because of how much money he's made. He's basically just made just the most ridiculous bet of all time. His execution is terrible, but the size he's putting on is really what needs to be talked about, right? That's the most important part, is how much size he's putting into the trade, the undying conviction of one chair, one trade, long time horizon. He's playing a different game than me and you. He's not playing cycles. He's not playing get the best entry. He's playing this asset will dominate the world. That's the game he's playing, right? He's putting on a long-term bet that a lot of value accrual will go towards Bitcoin. It's a completely different game than what me and you are playing. But I would say if the trade works out for him in the long run, 100%. He's not just the Mount Rushmore. He's like the undisputed GOAT. Never went KOL. That's amazing. GCR is God. Yeah. I mean, GCR, look, the thing I like about GCR is he's helped me reframe the thought process in markets a lot. Like, he doesn't share anymore, right? But in 2022, 2021, he was tweeting pretty often, and he wouldn't tweet about like directions. Like, that's what everyone gives him credit for. Oh, he shorted the top. Oh, he made this unbelievable big dick move shorting Luna, and I'm covering it with $82, right, to cover all my risk. These are the things we remember about GCR, but there were little nuggets of just like wisdom every single part of the way that just helped me think about markets in a different way, right? And it just like reframed my mentality. I have a lot of them like saved in the bookmarks folder on Twitter, but that's really what I give GCR a lot of credit for. And there's so many traders like that, man. I think the value that I've gotten from other people really comes down to these kind of things versus this is a horizontal level and this is an EMA and this is how I'm going to place my stop loss, because all that shit you learn very quickly, in my opinion. You learn that shit quick. People clown Saylor, but who else is down 3 billion on their position on low time frame and just vibes? Yeah, dude, he's different. Saylor is just different, man. Loma Magus, I appreciate you including me in that, man. That's insane. Few see this. I think I follow him or he follows me. I see him sometimes on Twitter. Let me see if my Twitter is working. If you say he's one of the GOATs, I should follow him. And I don't follow many people, but I've seen you ask amazing questions, Livid. I see how your brain works. And if you respect this guy, I should probably respect this guy too. Here's the funny part. Here's the funny part about me opening up this guy. So I've seen his tweets on my timeline occasionally. And what is he posting now? He's posting the same shit that Twitter loves to fucking look at, is just these annotated charts of whatever, right? That's what everything on Twitter has come down to, is not even like actionable analysis anymore. Everyone's just posting like fractals and stuff because that's what gets engagement. No one gives a fuck about anyone else or anyone else's thoughts. But here, I'll follow him. Let's give him a couple months. Were you around for Joe, the account with the whale pick that posted insane alpha in 2020, 2021? I don't think so. Yeah, that doesn't ring a bell. Alexandru? He, I think he's got beef with me for whatever reason. He's Nexus's friend, so I'm friends with Nexus, and I know he's friends with Nexus too. But like his friend group, I think they got a problem with me for some reason. I don't know what the deal is there, but I wish him nothing but the best. All right. I think we can probably round off the stream there. Good topics discussed today. You guys probably got the picture of how I'm thinking about markets. If you missed opening thoughts on today's stream, they'll be timestamped tomorrow. So feel free to come back tomorrow and check out the timestamps if you don't have time to like look for it. That's a service that I provide for you guys. That's the little kindness that I can do, is understand that people don't have 2 hours to weed through my streams. So yeah, shout out Wusong, by the way, who does the thumbnails and timestamps. I used to timestamp my streams by myself, and I know how much of a pain that can be. So shout out Wusong for doing that. Smartestmoney.eth. Yeah, I've seen him do really well. You know who was fucking awesome that got canceled by CT was Pigeon. Enos. Enos was a phenomenal trader that CT shit on. They found out that his alt was like running a VC firm or something, and they just said like all his trades are bullshit and everything like that. And he just quietly faded into the shadows. But I found a lot of, I thought he tweeted high quality things, because you can LARP P&L, you can LARP, you know, P&L cards. You can take a massive size position and go delta neutral by taking the other size position and tweet the one that's successful. There's a lot of ways to LARP for a purpose, but the tweets that he would post in between, thoughts on the market, stuff like that, that's value that you can't LARP. You can't LARP that kind of value. So he was one of the accounts that I enjoyed reading. Sad to see him gone, but so be Twitter, man. That's how it is. People get very upset at people that do well and think that everyone's lying about everything, because in fairness, 99% of the people are lying about everything. Oh, Giver. I don't know. I just started following Giver a couple months ago, 2 months ago. I didn't know who this guy was before, but Giver's thoughts are very gigabrain. I don't even think he looks at charts, but that guy's got a IQ off the charts. That's another fantastic trader that we have in our space. I am a lover of Nexus. NYC, Nick, Bag, Scottie Pippen. Now that's a list. That's a Mount Rushmore right there, man. NYC, Money, and Zed are on my Mount Rushmore for this cycle. Yeah. He was on the leaderboards. Yeah. All right. Enough talking about other people, guys. Let's all focus on ourselves. Let's call the stream there. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Shout out to Magus for tweeting the stream out. If you guys joined by his tweet, give him a thank you for me. But yeah, guys, I'll see you next week, and let's keep grinding. And you know, I always say this at the end of the streams, but the people that stick around in the bad times are the ones that reap the benefit in the good times. So always keep that in mind. If you're feeling like ass and you don't want to see these red numbers, just remember there's going to be a different market again one day. And if you prepare in these times, you'll be ready for those times. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.